NXT tonight. NXT tonight wasn't really a phenomenal show. Wasn't really a okay or bad show either. It was just simply a good show. Credit to Triple H and NXT as always. Most importantly, the credit tonight goes to most of the male and female talents for giving us their best performance in the ring. You know, showing us that they're good at what they do in the ring and showing us that their wrestling skills have improved. So, here, tonight we got Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano. We got Xia Li and Kacy and Kayden Carter continuing their feud on NXT. Xia Li continuing to be dominant in the women's division, showing why she's the best. We got the Grizzled Young Veterans and MSK continuing their tag team feud in the tag team division over there on NXT. And we got Karrion Kross defeating Santod Escobar. And last but not least, we have Adam Cole explaining his actions, laying out Roger Strong with a low blow. Now, that doesn't shock me at all, just throwing it out there. But folks, this is your NXT review. We're going to go over it all right here on my England Wrestling News YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Brendan. The England Wrestling News is very own Brendan here, live with your February 24th, 2021 NXT review. And I can't lie, my back is hurting from sitting in this chair all day. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's the bottom of it that hurts. Whew. You ever feel like you ever sat in a chair for 2-3 hours and then all of a sudden your back starts hurting? Oh my god, my back is hurting real bad, man. Hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for all notifications. And also follow me on Twitter at England Wrestling. Follow me on Twitch if you haven't done so yet, man. I could use some more Twitch and Twitter followers. Help me get up to 1,000 followers on Twitch and Twitter by hitting that follow button. Same thing with YouTube. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'm on the road to 1,000, close to 200. I feel like I'm doing a hell of a good job on my channel right now. I'm pretty sure some of you can actually agree with me right now. Just saying. But NXT was a good show tonight, man. And I was really impressed with the talent the most tonight. They really showed the fans, as far as wrestling skill-wise, they showed the fans what they can do in the ring and how good they are, you know. They really showed the fans how good their promos are, the segments are, and everything. I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there. Sure, there's a lot of virtual geeks out there that's inspired by what some of the superstars have done in the ring. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the review here. So, this week's NXT opens up with a look at the feud between Karrion Kross and Santod Escobar. The two would square off, which they did square off tonight, in what was a extreme, violent battle. So then we got Dexter Lumis versus Johnny Gargano with the way at ringside. So the bell basically rings and Gargano runs at Loomis and drops to the mat. when Dexter pretends to punch him. Lumis gets down to a crawl and Gargano slides out of the ring. So then Gargano attempts a springboard, but Lumis punches him off and he falls to the floor. Lumis goes out as Johnny comes back in and Dexter goes under the ring. Now the Way look for Lumis and Theory finds him. So then right behind Johnny, Gargano in the ring. Lumis beats on Gargano and hits a thus press for the 2 count. Lumis hits a stalling vertical suplex and Gargano rolls outside to regroup. Now, Lumis goes out, but Gargano cheap shots him. Then looks for a running kick, but Lumis avoids it. Hips up and lifts Johnny to drop him on the apron. Lumis gets Gargano back in the ring, and Indy Hartwell tries to hit him, but he stops. He stops her, and she backs off. Candice then jumps on Lumis, but he catches her and tosses her on the apron, but Johnny slides through her legs to baseball slide him. So then we got a commercial break. Now after that commercial break, we're back live, and Gargano has Lumis in a camel clutch, but Dexter lifts him for a backbreaker. Lumis hits Gargano a few times. When I mean he hit Gargano a few times, I mean that. He literally hit Gargano a few times and backs him into the corner. Hits a running elbow. Gargano hits a counter, and they both wind up on the mat, or on the match, staring at each other. I think I still meant to say mat, though, at the same time. So, then Lumis attempts Gargano in the Anaconda Vice, but Gargano switches to a crucifix pin for a near fall. So then Gargano looks for a spinning back elbow, but Lumis counters with a spine buster. So Lumis goes up. He goes up top. And he jumps, but nobody's home. Then Gargano drops him for a 2 count. Gargano directs Candice to distract the referee, and Theory slides a chair into the ring. So then Lumis stands on the chair and catches Gargano with an uppercut. But Gargano fires back with an enziguri. And then Johnny fights a knee injury to distract the referee. But Theory gets on the apron with the chair and looks to hit Lumis. But Dexter stares at him and he freezes. Gargano runs at Lumis, but he sidesteps. And Johnny hits Theory. He hits Theory by mistake, I believe. So then Lumis gets Gargano in the silence and he passes out. And that was it. So Lumis is unique. We know that. He's a unique superstar with an interesting gimmick. But I feel like WWE has now failed to utilize him effectively for months. I mean, his feud with Gargano it's the first step toward building him up again. As usual, Gargano was clean in the ring, but his heel run has had its ups and downs. But he has always been a joy to watch, no matter who is working with him. Now, this was a good opener. This was a good opening to NXT, and it left plenty of room for them to improve in the eventual rematch for the North American Championship. So that's all I got to say about that. Let me know in the comments below if you're interested in, or put it this way, let me know in the comments below if you're ready for that North American Championship match between Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis. That's what I'm trying to say. What do you think if they booked the North American Championship match? What do you think? What are your thoughts on what you think is going to happen with Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship if they make it happen? If they book it in 2 weeks, will we see an NXT takeover in 2 weeks? Or will we see it in 3 weeks? I feel like another NXT takeover is coming in about 2, 3, 4 weeks. Something tells me another NXT takeover will be here in about 3 or 4 weeks. Something tells me. I don't know. For some reason my mind's just telling me. Anyways, William Regal heads outside the building and looks around for Santos Escobar, who hasn't showed up yet. Regal tells the cameraman to send Escobar to his office as soon as he arrives. We get an awesome video to showcase who MSK are and their journey to the WWE, including the death of NASCAR's father and how it fueled him. Now, MSK is backstage, and they're backstage ready for an interview, but before they can speak, guess who they get attacked by? Guess who they get attacked by, folks? Guess. Take a guess. Take a guess in the chat. I guarantee you half of you don't know. You got 5 seconds to take a guess in the chat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They were attacked by James Drake and Zach Gibson. The Grizzled Young Veterans. They beat them down and trap Wesley's arm in the chair and then stand on it until referees force them away. So we got Malcolm Bivens coming out with Tyler Rust, and we see a video from earlier today where he goaded Leon Ruff into a match with Rust. So Bivens says he thinks of Ruff as the son he never had and never wanted. Be careful, Malcolm Bivens. Don't run into the Forgotten Sons. Just throwing it out there. And that's why he's giving him the opportunity of a lifetime against Tyler Rust. Now, Ruff makes his entrance, but before he gets in the ring, I see it's where Scott attacks him from under the apron. Swerve drags Ruff over to the announce desk and berates him. He berates the commentators, saying it's time he was recognized. He lifts Ruff into his shoulders and throws him back first into the apron. So Zoe Stark was backstage with William Regal earlier today, and he said he's going to give her a non-title match against Io Shirai tonight considering how impressive she was last week. Stark gets interviewed backstage, but there is a technical issue, and they lost it. Damn. They couldn't even get her interview. Damn. I felt bad for Zoe Stark because they didn't interview. I think she felt in her mind. I think she was feeling disrespectful. I think I would have felt disrespectful if they didn't. If they had a technical difficulty and they wouldn't interview me, I definitely felt disrespected and angry. I would defiantly act like a freaking heel. I really would. So we got a commercial break. Is backstage. Those of you that don't know who Cameron Grimes is, here you go. Cameron Grimes is backstage and he hands a random guy a baseball, or basketball actually, and says if he can dribble it 10 times, he'll give him $1,000. I'm trying to figure out where are they going with Cameron Grimes. What are they doing with this guy? I don't understand. I don't get it. It's confusing to me. So we got Shirai versus Zoe Stark. This was a really good match. I can't even talk tonight for some reason. Told you my brain ain't functioning. I said that earlier in the Call of Duty stream. My brain is not functioning. See? Told you. It ain't functioning tonight. It was doing that shit earlier. So Shirai versus Zoe Stark. See? I can't even get my words right. Shirai versus Zoe Stark. So the match gets underway, and they lock up with taking a headlock. Stark shoots her off, but jumps over her and goes back to the submission. Then Shirai transitions into a outer mental stretch. Stark powers out, but rolls her up for 2. Drops Stark into the middle rope and looks for the 619, gets caught and kicked to the floor. So Stark tries to run and dive out of the ring onto but gets kicked into midair. Heads up top. Stark knocks her off and she lands hard on the floor. Got a commercial break. Back live, and Stark is in control, but drops her with a kick. Drops her with a kick. Stark clobbers Shirai with a basement drop kick for a 2 count. Then heads to the top rope. Stark leaps for a 450, but Shirai rolls out of the way. Both women hit crossbodies and goes down. Shirai rolls up Stark. Zoe counters with a nasty German suplex for a near fall. Excuse me, I had to yawn. Stark goes to a sleeper hold. Stark swings a kick, but catches it and elbows her shin. Then hits a few running lariats and a 619. Heads to the top rope and lands a missile dropkick. Hits a Hurricane Rana followed by a double arm backbreaker for a near fall. Stark counters Shirai with a Tiger suplex for a near fall. Stark lifts and looks for a German, but Shirai counters with a roll into the buckles and follows up with running knees. Heads up top and hits a moonsault for the win. And that's it. Toni Storm comes out and introduces herself before saying she knocked Io's head off, but she didn't do a damn thing. She didn't do a damn thing about it. So Storm reminds Io that she didn't pin her at TakeOver, and it's because she can't beat her. Shirai says she will fight Storm anytime, any place, anywhere. Storm doubts that and says if that were true, Io would as wrangle for that match. Storm asks Io to prove her wrong. Now, Io Shirai versus Stark wasn't too bad. That match wasn't too bad. But I will say my thoughts on the segment with Tyler Rust and Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott. My thoughts on that. It was a pretty good segment. Wasn't really too bad. I don't know where this lead to, but I know as we speak, all I know is the Swerve and Ruff feud is continuing. Now, the quick beatdown by Scott was good, but did nothing more than what he did to Ruff last week. All I know is, if he had taken out both Rust and Ruff, he would have made a much bigger impact. And we could have got a triple threat match between Ruff, Rust, and Isaiah Swerve Scott. Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Tyler Rust versus Leon Ruff. I can see that happening. Triple threat match. I can see that happening. And I can also see Isaiah Swerve Scott winning it over Tyler Rust and Leon Ruff too. I can see WWE still continuing Isaiah Swerve Scott's push. And I can also see him getting a title opportunity as well. I could see him challenging Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. We can get Finn Balor versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. Maybe that'd be Finn Balor's next feud. Hell, Adam Cole may lose the NXT Championship and may get called up to the main roster. That's probably what's going to happen with him. He's probably going to feud with Finn Balor. He's going to lose to Finn Balor and get called up to the main roster. Ah, man. Adam Cole better get prepared for the worst once he gets called up. He's not gonna like the way Vince and Bruce uses him. I'll tell you that. Vince and Bruce, we all know, are fucking idiots and they're fucking terrible. Mental. That's what they are. But anyways, all that I just said is my thoughts on the segment between Tyler Rust, the segment between Tyler Rust, Ruff, and Scott. That's my thoughts on those three. Now, my thoughts on Zoey versus Io Shirai. The match was competitive. It helped Stark show off some her skills to the members of the NXT universe who are not familiar with her work outside of WWE. They had a few sloppy moments, but that tends to happen with people who have never worked together before. Now, Stark's performance here will likely ensure we see more of her in the coming weeks. That's the way I think. Now, the Way are leaving, and Mackenzie stops them for an interview. Gargano is angry, and he berates Theory for not hitting Lumis with the chair. Theory says he didn't want to use the chair, it was unnecessary. Theory thinks Lumis is misunderstood. Gargano is astounded. It reminds Theory that he was kidnapped, shoved in a white van, and stripped naked. They asked Indy for her opinion, and she says she thinks Loomis is cute. Gargano says they have Stockholm Syndrome, and he's sending them to therapy. So, had a commercial break. Cameron Grimes was outside earlier today with a few random people. and he flashes them his cash. You know what I feel like? That segment, you know that part, that word that WWE made Indy said? It's funny that Indy thinks that Loomis cute because there was this segment with the Viking Raiders, and this woman even thought that Ivar was cute. Same thing, right? Similar, right? I think you all know what I'm talking about. Trust me, think about that for a minute. Think about that. But seriously, Cameron Grimes was outside earlier today with a few random people. He flashes them his money. He asks one of the girls if she can dribble a baseball 10 times, and she takes the challenge. She dribbles, and he tries to kick it away, but she outsmarts him, and he has a fork over the money. Folks, I wish I can tell you what this is leading to, but I don't think this is leading to anything. I mean, I don't even know what they're doing with Cameron Grimes at this point. They don't never tell us anything. WWE doesn't never tell us anything because they always keeping secrets from us, you know? Jesus Christ. I hope from booking him in a match forever, you know? I just hope they start booking him in matches, you know, instead of having him in segments, you know, having him in video magnets and all that shit, you know? Cameron Grimes deserves to get used on TV. He doesn't deserve to get used in video packages and magnets and segments every week. That's all we've been seeing from Cameron Grimes is segments after segment after segment. Magnets after magnets. That's all we've been seeing. We want to see Cameron Grimes wrestle in the ring. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see him in magnets and segments and all that. Come on, man. What is WWE NXT doing with this guy? I don't understand. I don't get it. Anyways, we got Kacy Catanzaro with Kayden Carter versus Xia Li with Boa ringside. So, now I will say this wasn't really a match, so to speak. This was kind of like a squash match, if you will. So, the bell rings, and Xia whips Kacy, but she does a few flips and slides under her legs before hitting a Hurricane Rana. Kacy tries to jump over Xia, but gets caught and dropped neck first into the top rope. So then, Xia poses and licks her hand, which, to my opinion, was kind of disgusting. It was very, very disgusting, as a matter of fact. Then backs Kacy into the corner and stomps her down. Xia hits a snap suplex for a 1 count. Xia lifts Kacy, but Catanzaro rolls her up for a 2. Then Lee drops her with a kick to the gut. Xia takes a modified chicken wing as Tin Shaw watches on. Kacy fights up and slams Xia into the buckles. Then unloads with weak looking punches. Xia shoves her away, but Catanzaro fires back with a drop kick, and Xia drops her to her knees, and Kacy hits a flip kick, and Lee rolls outside. So then Kacy jumps at her, but gets caught and shoves into the barricade. So once she shoves her into the barricade, Lee hangs Kacy's leg on the steel steps and stomps the knee, and drags her back into the ring by her hair. Referees comes down to check on Catanzaro's knee and called the match. So Kayden Carter is furious after the match, and she runs up the ramp to confront Shaw, but Boa stands in the way. Zaya then walks over and drops Kacy with a head kick and heads back up the ramp while shouting that Kacy is next. Or should I say Kayden's next? I don't think Kacy's next because she already got Kayden, so she already got Kacy, so it's Kayden. Now, Lee was a mid-card player in NXT for quite some time, but after this recent transformation, she has turned into one of the most imposing and intimidating forces in the division. Sort of what I said, right? I did say she's continuing to dominate the women's division. She's continuing to be one of the most dominant women in the division. I did say that, did I not? Catanzaro plays a great underdog and sold the stomp to her leg, well, with what looked like real tears. All of this was designed to make Lee look like a beast, basically, folks. Like Bobby Lashley. A beast! And it worked brilliantly. This wasn't a technical masterpiece or high-flying spot feast. It was, in fact, glorified squash match to get one competitor over, which I already said it was. Squash match. Sometimes that kind of match is best option, and this was one of those times. Get it? I hope you all get what I'm saying here. Now, William Regal's backstage outside. Santos Escobar still hasn't arrived. Regal is not happy and storms back inside. Commercial break. Cameron Grimes is walking around outside with his basketball, and he is not happy. He stops a random guy and asks him to dribble the ball 10 times, and he'll give him $100,000. The guy bends down and Grimes punches him. Grimes screams that nobody is smarter than him and throws his money. So we got the Grizzled Young Veterans versus Drake Maverick and Killian Dain. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this match, or let me know in the chat. I'll tell you what I think of this match in a bit here. So, the match gets underway, and Dain rushes across the ring to dropkick James. So once he did that, Dain drags him over to tag Maverick. So once he tagged Maverick, then they hit double team moves, and Dain scope slams Maverick into him. Maverick takes the wrist, but James backs him to the corner and tag skips, and Dain comes back in, grabs them both by the throat, and runs them over the ropes. It lifts Maverick and tosses him over the ropes into them. So we got a commercial break. And back from commercial break. Live. Back live, and the veterans are loading Maverick and keeping Dain out of the match. Maverick catches James with knees in the back and slides under Gibson and tags Dain. The Irishman comes in hot and slams James into the corner and slams Gibson into him. James jumps into Dain's back. Then Gibson onto his front, but Dain drops down to Simone drop James and fallaway slam Gibson. So once he fallaway slams Gibson, Dain hits James with a senton for a near fall. The veterans want a suplex, but Dain hits them both with a suplex. Maverick gets the tag and hits a flying crossbody to James and drop kicks Gibson off the apron. Maverick catches James with a drop kick to the knee, then lands a forearm in the corner. Gibson tags in and they hit a missile drop kick STO for a near fall. Because Dain breaks it up, Dain gets thrown out the ring, but then he drags Gibson out with him. James hits a suicide dive to Dain, then Gibson heads back in. Maverick hits a forearm in the corner and a bulldog to Gibson before climbing up. James distracts Maverick and Gibson pulls him down. The veterans hit their finish for the win. And that's it. Now I will say this. Dain and Maverick do have a good dynamic. But their entrance needs to change immediately. They are funny enough with needing an... Now Drake and Gibson, however, are a solid team. But their pre-match promos are not as enduring as WWE wants them to be. They would benefit from having a manager to do their talking for them so they can just focus on beating people up. Sort of like Luke Gallows and Anderson, the OC. And AJ Styles, too. Yeah. The match was a little overbooked, to be honest, folks. But had some good spots from both teams. But they would have benefited from slowing down a bit because they had plenty of time. They really, really did. They had plenty of time. So a black SUV pulls up outside and outsteps Legado del Fantasma. Escobar stays inside. Killian Dain walks into the trainer's room carrying Drake Maverick. Alexander Wolf walks in and asks Dain what he's doing, saying he used to be a monster. Dain looks conflicted, then drops Maverick into a chair. He really did. He used to be the Beast of Belfast. Now he done went from the Beast of Belfast to being Drake Maverick's partner. To be paired up by Drake Maverick because that's what NXT wants, and I'm guessing that's what Bruce and Vince wants. Or maybe that's what NXT Creative wants. Oh, that's not what we as fans want, I know you that. Some of us as fans don't want that. They want to pair Killian Dain up and Maverick up because apparently they think the NXT Tag Team Division, they think there aren't enough teams in the division. So they want to pair people like Killian Dain and Drake Maverick up. There's enough tag teams in the division if you use them right on TV, if you book them right. Put the titles on the right teams, on the teams that will actually defend them, not on teams that won't defend them, that'll just keep them, like Arnie Larkin and Danny Burch. Because it seemed like WWE's not taking the titles off of Danny Burch and Arnie Larkin yet. And in fact, we haven't even seen Danny Burch and Arnie Larkin. last night on the show. We haven't even seen them. Where are they? Where is Pete Dunne? Where's Pete Dunne lurking in Danny Burch? And where is Pat McAfee? But let's be honest, NXT doesn't really need Pat McAfee because they're doing a fine job without Pat McAfee. So they don't need him. Just throwing it out there. So anyways, Kross versus Santos Escobar. So the match begins out in the parking lot with Kross attacking Wilde and Mendoza. I don't even know why they had them feuding with each other. I mean, I guess they're just trying to give Kross something to do until Balor and Kyle O'Reilly are done with their feud with Adam Cole. I'm guessing that's why. So Escobar attacks him from behind and slams him into a garage door. Kross beats Escobar over towards a big truck and slams him down onto the loading dock. Kross tries to climb up but gets the shutter door slammed down on his head. Santos attacks Kross but gets beaten back, and Escobar escapes into the truck's cabin. Kross can't get in, so he lifts a pickaxe from the truck and slams it into the truck door a few times. So then Wilde and Mendoza reappear and attack him, but he tosses Wilde into the hood of the truck. Then Mendoza into the fender. Now, Escobar attacks him from behind, and all three of them gang up on Kross. Escobar trash talks Kross before slamming him into the side of the truck over and over again. They drag him inside and beat him down onto steps by a platform. Escobar confidently walks off towards the ring, but turns around to see Kross holding Mendoza and Wilde by the heads and tosses them both through the plexiglass barricade. Now, that kinda looks like that hurts. Now, grabbing them, however, looks like that really hurts. But those two are tough, man. Those two are really, really tough. They're tough guys. I don't think it's gonna hurt. Escobar is stunned and Kross comes at him, and Santos runs into the ring. Kross chases after and beats him down in the ring. But again, Santos rolls out. Kross comes out, and Mendoza runs at him, but gets grabbed and thrown into the barricade. Escobar grabs a chair and hits Kross on the arm. Then again, before slamming him into the ring post and the steel steps, Escobar gets confident as they head to break. So back from commercial break, Escobar is beating Kross in the corner of the ring and drops him with a big running drop kick. Wilde and Mendoza grab Kross' legs, and Escobar hits a running drop kick to the face. Kross runs outside, and Escobar goes after, then wraps a chair around his arm and slams it into the ring post. So once it gets slammed into the ring post, Kross is furious as he falls down and tries to grab Escobar. Santos attacks the arm again and gets him back in the ring for a 2 count. Escobar drop kicks the arm before throwing Kross out of the ring. So then Kross clobbers Santos with a forearm, then fights off Wild and Mendoza, but Escobar then hits a suicide dive to drop the big man again. Escobar bends the arm around his knee before putting Kross back in the ring and applies an armbar. Now Kross fights up, but Santos backs him into the corner and hits a running knee. Escobar looks to hit the Three Amigos, but Kross blocks the second and hits an overhead suplex. Kross rallies and hits another overhead suplex, and Escobar rolls outside. So then, Kross climbs out gingerly, but Santos slams him into the steel steps. Kross Santos tries to yank his arm into the ring post, but Kross pulls him into the steps, then kicks Mendoza in the face while he has a chair. Wild and Mendoza jump at Kross, but both get caught and slammed into the barricade. Kross kicks Escobar over towards the announce desk and hits a Saito suplex through the table. Kross gets Santos back in the ring and hits another Saito suplex. Kross hits the running forearm to the back of the head and scores the win. And that's it. So we see replays after the match. Then Kross poses with Scarlett and sells the arm injury. Now, I will say starting in the parking lot helped add some chaos to the match, but it wasn't necessary in the end. These two did more interesting things in and around the ring than they did outside. It's hard to say why WWE would book one of its champions to lose like this, but seeing as Kross cannot compete for the Cruiserweight title, it won't affect Escobar's reign. I don't even know why they even started this feud in the first place. It just doesn't make sense at all. None of this shit makes sense. Mendoza and Wild did a great job bumping for Kross, and Escobar put up a good fight. This was good, but it could have been better had they focused more on each other with less interference. Now, commercial break. LA Knight is sitting in a car and says people keep asking when or a month from now, but it doesn't matter because every NXT superstar has a golden ticket to get stomped out by him. So, we have Adam Cole, baby, coming to the ring, and we see a replay of last week when he attacked Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. Cole says after watching the footage, he feels sick to his stomach. Everyone knows the NXT champion is very important to him, but he doesn't like the championship is very important to him, but he doesn't like the guy it makes him. He was pissed that Kyle got opportunities instead of him, and he failed repeatedly. However, that doesn't excuse his actions, and he is ashamed of himself. Cole looks into the screen, addresses Kyle O'Reilly, saying he wishes they could be having this conversation face to face, but they can't, and it's his fault. Cole says he made a terrible mistake, and he hates himself for it. He apologizes and says he will do everything he can to fix it. Roger Strong comes onto the stage and says it's a little late to feel bad. For 10 days, he couldn't let any of them know what was going on. Strong says everything is changed now. The Undisputed Era was built on love and trust, but he threw it all away. Strong says Cole knows O'Reilly, and when he heals, he'll come for him. Finn Balor's music hits, and he comes down to the ring. He comes down to the ring and shoves Strong out of the way. Balor goes right after Cole and attacks him, but Strong comes back and drags him off, and they spill out of the ring. Cole shoves Balor to the barricade and super kicks him. Cole gets in the ring and apologizes to Roddy, but Roddy drops him with a forearm. Cole apologizes and says he wants things to go back to normal. He sits on his knee and cries, saying he screwed everything up. Strong feels bad and bends down to confront him, saying he loves him. They hug, and Strong stands. Then Cole low blows him. Roddy falls down, and Cole tells him he's stupid. Then rips the Undisputed Era necklace off and super kicks him. Cole stands over Strong as the show comes to a close. And that was it. Now, we all knew this would end with Cole turning heel, but a lot of people expected it to end up being Fish and O'Reilly versus Cole and Strong. Seeing Cole go solo is an unexpected twist. The Undisputed Era would have been great on Raw or SmackDown, but maybe it's better they break up before they were out there welcome. Every stable has a shelf-life. Every stable has a shelf life. When I mean every stable has a shelf life, I mean that. They literally have it. But seriously, Cole was as convincing as he could be under circumstances and did a great job playing his part. Now, the eventual war he will have with Kyle O'Reilly should be epic, should be phenomenal. It should be the greatest ever. Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole should be one of the best, one of the greatest NXT matches in NXT history. Now, question is, will they book Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly for WrestleMania 37? That remains to be seen. I guess that remains to be a mystery for now. And I guess it remains to be a secret. Now, folks, this is the end of your February 4th, 2021 review. If you enjoyed the review, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. So, before I get out of here, I do have a few things to tell you all. I definitely have a few things to tell you all before I get out of here. And that is, number one, I will be streaming Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War again this afternoon. Also, it's either going to be on Twitch or on YouTube. I don't know yet. I don't know until I decide around 1 o'clock this afternoon. But anyways, I will be streaming Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War this afternoon. I will be. And number two, WWE, I just thought I'd throw this out there. WWE has some new signings. Yes, they have some new signings. We saw the news on what was one of the largest recruitment classes in history. Now, as you all know, WWE signed a huge class starting at Performance Center. WWE signed Tyra Valkyrie and that Brock Lesnar lookalike. You know, the Brock Lesnar lookalike, Parker, Booty Axe. He left football to join WWE. He will start along with second generation wrestler, grandson Rick Steiner, the son of Rick Steiner. And then Christian and Anthony Henry were also a part of the new class of recruits. There are some big names on the female side as Angela Arnold, Priscilla Kelly, Elena Black, Carissa Rivera, and Zoe Stark are all starting their WWE journeys. Sherai is coming as well, but it is unknown when she will start. Now, WWE also recently inked deals with LA Knight, aka Eli Drake, Taya Valkyrie, and Harlem Bravado. Needless to say, WWE has a lot of fresh faces primed and ready to make their mark. Alright, so I just thought I'd give you the news on this huge class starting at WWE Performance Center. And my SmackDown review will be live this Friday night. Before that, my WWE SmackDown live stream, of course, will be live. And also, before my WWE SmackDown live stream, I will probably be streaming either World of Tanks, Dragon Ball Z 2, or Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And I will be dropping an England Wrestling News video today, sometime today, I don't know when. But I know I am, for sure. That's all I have for you. So, again, if you enjoyed my NXT review, hit that thumbs up. I'm getting out of here. Peace. You all have a good Thursday. And I will see you live on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War this afternoon. Peace.